Still filming from a deployed location deep in the Nevada desert. This is the Nut and Fancy project, officially year 11. You have dialed into another fun, hopefully fun, watch review. This is the Citizen BM, as in Bravo Mike, 8478. It is the 01 Lima version, I believe, and man is it cool. It will definitely go into my Hall of Fame watch playlist. Now please make sure you turn on notifications, you subscribe, you thumbs up, and you share my watch reviews. I'm having fun doing them. It's a nice break from the other stuff I've done for coming up on officially 11 years in TMP. I like it. It's variety. It's fun. Watches are our shoes. Women have shoes. We have knives and watches that we can change up in our EDC carry. And man, I have a great time doing it. I really do. You know, I'll lay watches out and say, which one am I going to wear today? It gives me joy. And that's what it's about. And they're commodities. So just like a good knife, at least if it's a name brand knife, like a Benchmade or Spyderco, perhaps a Kershaw, Cold Steel. If you don't like it, you can sell it on the secondary market and get a lot of your money out of it. Watches are no different. It will take some time and effort. It always does. You may not get the price you want for it, but you'll get money out of it as long as you haven't thrashed it. Love this watch, man. Love it. What do I like about this Citizen so much? I think a better question is, what do I not like about it? And the short answer is nothing. There's nothing I don't like about the Citizen BM8478 series. It is perfect for what it is and what it attempts to be. And by that I mean it is a classically styled, of sorts, aviation watch. So currently in my advancement through the watch world, I like dive watches, some sport watches, I'm talking analog variety. I like aviation watches and some classic watches. There's a couple very classic ones that I very much like. But I really gravitate towards these aviation style watches. And by that I mean kind of a World War II vintage look to it. Big face, easy to read, classic World War II style aviation watch. And there are different varieties of that. So this is just one interpretation of that style. It says me. I like those kind. They're fun. I don't dislike anything about this watch. I think the price is reasonable for a Citizen EcoDrive E101 movement. So that is actually a solar powered watch you're looking at, and you know my excitement level on those, right? If you don't, it's pretty high, because this is going to be a very low maintenance watch. You may get about 8 to 10 years out of the battery, and then you will eventually have to replace it, and it will be more expensive, the battery, than a regular quartz battery replacement, no doubt. But think of what you've gained. You've gained a decade of not having to dick around with winding a watch, changing the batteries every 2 years, maybe more frequently depending on which watch it is. All that's good in my opinion. It's definitely good. I love EcoDrive. Seiko has a similar movement, and of course Citizen is what we're considering now the EcoDrive movement. It's just low maintenance. Now of course you'll go into Amazon, I said this in a bracketing review, and you'll read negative reviews on everything about how this didn't work, that broke. Read them with caution. A lot of it's garbage and fake, and it's just whatever. I wouldn't hesitate for a second to buy the Citizen BM8478. It's amazing. One thing I love about it, well, like I said, everything I love about it, but here's a major thing. Its presentation in size is what we will consider now. So it is a larger face, officially 42 millimeters by 11 millimeters in thickness, the 8478, but it presents like it's a bigger watch. Now I reviewed these, and man do I love them. It is the 88 Hawker Hurricane. So here it is. I'm going to show you the case back on this one. This one is very, very cool. Look at that beautiful case back, the Hawker Hurricane. Aviate, such a great brand. I love it. This is not a solar powered watch. It's a standard Japanese quartz movement. But when I talked about the Hawker Hurricane and the Harrier 2 series, I mentioned about the size, about the legibility, and this is bigger still. So this is actually even more what I like. I like this size better than that. That's right. I like a not huge, but a large size analog watch, especially one that lays flat. Both of these do. This is only 11 millimeters, and I think this is about the same, the Hawker Hurricane. I bring it on the pedestal for a reason though, by size comparison for sure, and to show you what is just looks cool. It's an aviation style watch, and the marking set between these two is very similar. So you have regular numerals around the periphery, you have minute increments in the registration. I like the orange second hand a little bit better on the AV8. This one is a, what is that, kind of gold, looks goldish orange right here. I just love them. You do have military time in the Hawker Hurricane, which is excellent. And incidentally, AV8 will actually do different presentations of this watch. So this is just one variation. I showed multiple colors on some loaned watches that I had in the review of the Hawker Hurricane. Go check out that video. I'll put a card in there. But they'll do a completely different watch too. So it doesn't look anything like this, and they'll still call it a Hawker Hurricane, so I don't mind that at all. I think it's fun. Notice why we have the AV8 up here. This is a standard vintage lug width, the 20 millimeter, and then on the Citizen BM8478 we have 22 millimeter leather strap and lugs that will go on it. Which one do I prefer? I don't think there's any difference. One thing I've noticed in wearing the 20 mils around is I like that there's less of a sweat factor. So in hot summer conditions, I have less covering my wrist, and so it sweats less. It's a very minor consideration, but size is what we were considering. And so I was telling you how this one presents larger than it is, and it's because that face is pushed out to the edge of the case. There's really kind of a thin bezel, maybe not quite as thin as this one on the AV8 Hawker Hurricane, but close. I love this watch. Both of these watches are just fantastic. Fantastic. Let's look closely at the face here, and you'll notice that this is actually called Chandler Dark Blue in this version, and that's another reason I love this watch. So on first glance you'll go, well, that's a dark gray or a black face. Not so. It's actually a very dark blue, and then you have the contrasting look and high legibility of perfectly executed hour and minute hands. Just perfect. I mean, when I say perfect, they're not hollow, they're pushed out to the edge. Super easy to pick out the time in low light, different lighting conditions. The hour hand is perfect. The second hand could be illuminated and maybe have a little plane on the end of it, but it's good enough. Let's look at the registration, how precise it ticks off. It's not bad. Is it perfect alignment? No. I don't really care. It's close enough for me. Turn off my notifications. Jeez. Now this comes in both a stainless steel, brushed stainless steel case, and then the black PVD coated one that I'm showing you here. I prefer the black case because I just like its looks. So you have the Chandler Dark Blue, the high Loom, incidentally, and I'll put in an inset right now of what the illumination looks like. Look at that on the Citizen BM8478. Contrasting against that dark background. It's just a really good look, high legibility. You're going to mark up your bezel in your case as time goes on. I've already got a couple marks on mine. I am rocking my crystal protector on this one. Go watch my video on how to put your own homemade crystals on your watches. It's kind of fun. Hopefully helpful to you guys so you don't thrash your watches. Non-drilled through lugs. 22 mil again. Let's look at the case back. The Loom is actually so good on this, and I don't know if you can see it because I have the skylight of the trailer. I'm going to turn this light off, but you can. It in any exposure to light, these Citizen and Seiko, I'm going to give Seiko credit too, they look at that. I mean, you can kind of see the loom already, and that's just picking it up from the skylight in the trailer. Dude, that is outstanding loom, in my opinion. That is just really excellent. Citizen does such a great job with their loom. Again, Seiko does well as well, and a lot of others do too. Look at the case back. High polish, screw in case back. Let me undo the leather strap. We'll consider that separately. Holy cow, I just can't get rid of this stuff. Sorry for the interruptions. It's always someone needing to talk to me. It's never ending. That's why I'm extremely careful about giving out my number. I'm overwhelmed in messages. Overwhelmed. I mean, I get like 60 a day from different people. Here you go. Look at the back. Eco Drive. Good looking back. Japanese movement. Screw and case back, so if and when you do have to replace the battery, you can probably do it yourself and probably go out and source the replacement battery yourself as well. Super high quality. Non-screw in crown. I don't care for this watch, that it doesn't have it on this watch. It's 100 meter water resistance. That's plenty for me, and I would never use that feature with a leather strap on it. Speaking of which, look at the quality of this leather that Citizen is using. Contrasting ivory colored stitching on it, heavy gauge leather strap. It's just beautiful. PVD coated stainless steel clasp with double keepers. I've had no problems with any strap retention on this. Overall, I would say low bang factor and low sweat factor on this watch because, again, it's pretty thin. Wears great under a suit jacket, duty watch, just regular EDC clothes. It just functions perfectly. Kind of has a slight distressed leather look to it. Let's roll that AV8 in again and consider how they do their straps. Also superb. And they have different variations. AV8 brand does on their straps. I'll put links below if I can find them for both of these watches. Dadgum, I just love them both. They just excite me. Again, getting to the value equation. So here we have a watch for, you know, $135, give or take, that excites me personally. I'm not super motivated to go out and, like, I love saying this because I like driving the point home because there's so many people who disagree with that. They think, you know, oh, you know, for me to be excited about a watch, a real watch that I can trust, I need to spend a lot of money. It's just, it's horse crap. It's not true. $135 getting a solar powered Citizen watch that looks like this. Chandler dark blue. And by the way, it has day and date on it, as you can see. So that beats the AV8 series and most of their models. And by the way, the Loom dominates the AV8 series. I mentioned that in the review. The AV8 series with the Hawker Harrier or the Hurricane, the Loom is okay. It's not, you know, it's not garbage, but Citizen and Seiko Loom blow it away. Where did I had a Pro Diver here that, oh, here it is. Speaking of Citizen Loom, so this is actually a blue Loom on this, and I'll just show you for the heck of it because this is kind of watch TV, right? Let me charge it just slightly. Hopefully you can see it. I reviewed this one separately, but we're considering how Citizen does Loom. You can see it back there. See it? So that's a blue Loom with about 3 seconds of exposure to light. That's Citizen. They know how to do Loom on an analog watch. I mean, it is fantastic. And we're not even talking super Loom variety. We're just talking, these are run-of-the-mill, I would consider value watches, really. Another thing I love about it, and I'm glad I remember this, is this watch is super quiet. So you can't hear the ticking. There are some AV8 ones, like I have a Harrier 2, that they, I can actually hear it ticking. So it's not like a showstopper, but it's something. So let's wrap it up. In summary, the Citizen BM8478, it comes in different variations. Black, I believe Chandler dark blue is perfect actually for its cost. Day date, super high legibility, a face that wears bigger than it actually is. And that will actually be important if you have smaller wrists and if you are a lady. So this would be a great ladies watch. And by the way, I think that's sexy when a lady wears a larger men's watch. I really like that. Little insight. I just think it's cool. Perfect quality leather strap, 22 millimeter, black coated case, high polish, screw in case back, solar power. Solar power. So there's nothing I don't like about this watch. Value or quality execution altogether, it's perfect. Nothing fancy.